So for India, how it works is like once you get your CPL at 200 hours and then you work for an airline as an instructor or as an instructor, you reach to 1500 hours, meet the ATPL requirements, clear the ATPL papers and Viva, you get the ATPL. So once you have an ATPL, you are considered as an experienced pilot. Okay?
Senior first officer.
Yes, yes. And for someone who is training abroad or has a foreign citizenship, so for them it is...
What's up? Welcome back to Pilot Podcast episode 32. And look who's back. In last episode, we missed you. And then probably second or third comment on the last episode was, is Chintan hired and are we not gonna be able to see him anymore?
Hearty congratulations on joining India's leading airline, and it's a great milestone in any airline pilot's career. And this is one of the major steps to join an airline, and this is one of the dream which a pilot has all the time.
Thank you so much for your support. I mean, we have been training since the past couple of years, and time and again we are taking guidance from you for our journey to the cockpit, and the day has finally arrived, right? So last month I joined the airline, and now as I am training for the airline, it is difficult to get on each and every podcast, right? Similarly, in a month or two you will be training for the airlines, so whoever is available will be doing the podcast, right? We'll try our best that we all three combine. We come on the podcast, on each and every podcast.
So there will be podcasts now in which either one of us might be missing. We'll try not to all three of us to be there. But like it's either of two. Either there is no podcast or someone missing. So that's
so either a new guest, with
absolutely.
us, and that's how a pilot life is. There is no fixed schedule for a pilot life. So right now I'm training. So for me, as I'm doing my ground training, there is a fixed schedule for the week which we get.
Correct.
But once I start flying, there won't be a fixed schedule like, okay, every day morning 9 o'clock I'll have a flight. Sometime it will be a red-eye flight as well. Sometime I'll be off, and sometime I will be doing layovers and I won't be coming back to my home on the same day. So that's how it's gonna be. And then you also don't get leaves on festivals. Like let's say right now Ganesh Chaturthi is going on, right? So we won't get leave for that. And then last week there was Janmashtami, right? So for that also, so for that also there was no this thing holiday or anything. So that's how it is. So the path to become a pilot is challenging for sure, and once you become a pilot, then these are the things which will happen, and you and everyone is definitely aware about it, because their ambition is to become a pilot. So to become something, there is something they have to sacrifice. So here it is the important dates, I would say, right? But with that said, the glory, the respect which comes with the pilot's uniform, like once you wear that uniform, you feel like pride in yourself. You think, okay, I am a pilot. And the feeling which you get when you are on ground, you see the aircraft in front of you and you are like, wow, I'm flying this aircraft, or wow, I'm gonna fly this aircraft one day.
Absolutely. That is incredible. And to comprehend or fathom the fact that you manipulate the controls of such a big machine is something like heartwarming, or that never gets old, actually, for sure.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And so, by the way, he just came to Mumbai to shoot this for 6 hours or 8 hours. Tomorrow morning he's flying back. So thank you for your attention, and thank you for being here. Whoever this helps to, we are glad you're here.
So how was your journey for last 1 week and last 10 days since
So
the time
base-
you joined?
So for last 1 month, I would say I was busy collecting the documents, because to get into an airline, there are certain set of documents which one has to get, and for that, so all of those are government documents. So you have to run a lot to get it done,
Okay.
and all the documents have to be valid as well for the next couple of months as well. So basically, the police verification is one of those documents which will take a lot of time,
Correct.
because there are various departments which are involved in that, and you have to get an appointment. There's a background check, because you are giving it for the airline, so the airline name is mentioned on the police verification. Okay, so that was the one document which takes time. So other than that, your medicals, your licenses all have to be valid, your
Correct,
IR
correct,
check and
correct.
everything has to be valid. And then so first you get the email from the airline asking for the documents. Once you submit all the documents, then you get an email like the joining date, and then
Correct,
you
correct,
feel like you're the happiest person on the world, like you have made it, and you feel like
Correct,
proud
correct,
and
correct.
everything. And then you start packing your bags, and then you collect all the essential items which you are going to carry. So for me, I have packed certain of my nutritious food, because I'm not sure if I would get there or not, but yeah, we'll come to that later, what all things we get during our training, right? So you pack the bags, you do shopping, and so for the ground training, every day you have to wear formals. So
Correct.
until now, we are just in the habits of wearing casuals, hoodies, t-shirt, jeans, and everything. So yeah, so the formals, that shopping I have done the past week, and then once the packing and everything is done, the tickets are sent by the airline. So staff on duty, first time I'm traveling on that. And then once you travel, like once you sit in the aircraft, so in my flight, I guess from Mumbai, there were like 5 to 6 cadets as well with me. Yeah.
That's nice.
And we didn't even know that these all are cadets.
Right.
So matter of the fact, we went to our accommodation, and that's where everyone knew, oh, this was also cadet. Okay. And after that, once you reach the airport, like to the destination, then there's a cab waiting for you. I'm like, wow, this. So it's something new, right?
Right.
Like you have
Correct,
already,
correct.
you have always been seeing pilots like waiting
Right.
for
Correct.
their cabs at the airport, right? So
Correct.
this is the first time you're going through the process as a pilot.
Correct.
So once you get into the cab drives you to the accommodation. Once you reach the accommodation, there is a, I would say, briefing given by the hotel manager that these are the facilities, this is the menu, this is your room. And then you go to your room, you see how good it is.
Absolutely.
You unpack, you settle in, then that's how is the process of
Correct,
onboarding.
correct.
So that's the day one, and then next day your training starts.
So you're going to stay there for about 3 months.
Yes, around
for
2 to
your-
3 months. It depends upon the training, how quickly we get it done, how many slots are available in the given period of time. So sometimes if there is unavailability of some of the facilities, then it might take longer. So there's no fixed duration that it's only 3 months or 2 months.
Right.
It is as per the slots and as per your training. Okay, so
Correct.
that's how you reach the accommodation, and then you get the schedule. Okay, tomorrow morning you have to report at 9, and then you go there wearing formals, dressing your best, confident, straight up, and and then the seminar for the airline starts. So they explain you how big is the airline, how many departments does the airline have, if something goes wrong, whom do you contact.
Correct.
So that's all goes for the first 2 days, like the contract signing, and
Correct,
you
correct.
meet a lot of new people, right? And everyone has their own story to tell. So everyone is graduated from a different flight school. Okay,
Right.
so when we are
Correct.
training at L3,
Yeah.
right, everyone was from L3. So
Yeah.
the common discussion was about the requirements and how was the flight and
Right,
everything.
right.
But here, people from like USA,
Yeah.
Australia,
Correct,
New Zealand,
Correct.
India. So every one of them are in the same room, and everyone
Right.
has their own story, to tell.
Right.
Yeah. So how was the training? Then what aircrafts they have flown? So everyone has flown somewhere around Cessna 172, DA-42, technams.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
so everyone is from different background. They share their experience, their
Right.
story, what the struggles they have faced,
Absolutely.
right? So it's always fun to interact with all the pilots,
Correct,
and
correct.
they all come from different parts of India.
Yeah.
So earlier, how it used to be is that most of the pilots were from Mumbai and Delhi.
Correct.
But
correct.
now you are seeing a diversity in the
Right.
pilots, right?
Correct, correct.
So people from Northeast India,
Correct.
correct.
extreme north of India,
Correct.
south of India, west.
Correct.
So from all
Correct.
parts of India,
Yeah.
there are pilots.
Yeah.
So what
Correct.
this shows is that the aviation field is expanding.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
so
Absolutely.
everyone is aware about
Yep.
what a pilot career is,
Correct. Correct.
how you can become a pilot. Okay, because for us, we have already shared the videos on YouTube
Correct.
about how to become a pilot, what are the
Correct.
steps, and
Absolutely.
if
Correct.
someone wants to start the pilot training,
Correct.
they know they can reach us out and we'll be guiding them, right?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So that was one thing which I loved. So
Yeah, there are
yeah.
many pilots from tier 2, tier 3 cities
Yes.
also
Yes,
nowadays. Back in time, it only used to be from like metro
Metros.
cities
Yes.
only. But no, now it is not like that. And
Correct.
that's good. That's a sign that India is growing, right?
Yes.
And Indian
Correct.
aviation is growing. So, yeah, absolutely.
yes, and as a part of the diverse culture,
Yeah.
you get to know different cultures. So if
For
someone
sure.
is from Punjab, you get to know about their food, their culture, what all things are there.
Correct.
So there are people from Northeast India as well.
Correct,
So
correct,
Northeast
correct.
India, so they share their culture, which is very new for us.
Correct.
Okay, for Punjab, we do know some of the things because we see it in the movies and stuff. But for Northeast India, it's something which is new for me particularly.
correct.
Okay, so you interact with all the people, and every day you are gonna stay with them,
Correct.
right? So that is one part which I loved about aviation, that it's growing. So after that, so day 1 and day 2 is basically contract signing and introduction of the company.
Correct.
So then you move to the training center
Right.
where you meet a few amazing experienced pilots.
Yeah.
There are HRs as well who train you how
Right.
to speak,
Right.
and then they groom you for your personality as
Right.
well. So right now I haven't reached that stage yet,
Okay.
but this is just the start. So where they give you their joining kit,
Correct.
so you get your lanyard, right? You get your badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can just show everyone, yes, now I am officially a part of the airline,
Absolutely.
right? So there was one thing which many training pilots were asked:
Okay.
when are you going to fly an aircraft? Okay.
Yeah.
So that is what the most common question for all of them was. So because as someone is going for the pilot training,
Yeah.
I would say around most 80%.
Yeah.
So I would say around 80% of the people would be knowing that this guy is a pilot.
Yeah.
Okay. So after getting a CPL, everyone keeps on asking,
Hmm.
bro, when are you flying? When are you joining an airline? Okay. So at some point of time, it becomes frustrating.
Yeah.
Right?
It could. It
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
Because this is a field, like, so as soon as you get your CPL, the next day there's no possibility to join an airline, because there
Yeah.
are certain so
Sure.
if you consider the interview process that lasts for around 3 to 6 months,
Correct.
Correct. Correct.
right?
Yes, 6 months.
Correct.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So that is the period, okay, where everyone like generally asks. So they were just sharing that with me. So I'm just sharing to all of you.
Right.
So if someone asks you, just don't feel bad about it. I know it's bit frustrating, right, to answer
Yeah,
everyone.
It
Yeah.
can be, because the point is it becomes frustrating if you think you're
Hmm.
not doing enough work
Mhm.
towards it. Okay, but if you know that you are training for it, and good things take time. That's what it is. Becoming a pilot is carrying responsibility of so many persons, like she does at this
Hmm.
point. Okay, so it just doesn't happen like that. And then so if you think, like, my perspective over this is, right now I'll be going for the stage probably next month. Okay, now if you think that someone asking you, so are you a routine airline pilot, do you fly for an airline? Okay, I understand it can become frustrating. Definitely it can become frustrating. The point is, the journey is so long. It's actually long. Like, you
Mhm.
have so many trainings right now. see, your airline training has started. After this, then there will be sims, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
basically, as I am into an airline,
Yeah.
I'm also not gonna fly the aircraft tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That's what I'm talking about. Now, in coming 3 to 4 months, the airline ground training will go on. Afterwards, there will be 3 months, 4 months of sims and the checks. Okay, once that is done,
1
then-
month of
no,
Yes, yes.
nowadays it takes
2
longer
months.
time.
Yeah, 2 months.
2 months. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Okay.
just for the sims, okay.
Yeah.
Though we are type rated, yeah, it still will take 2 months another.
So in the airline simulator training in the beginning, before you actually start doing your observation
Yeah,
flights
yeah.
or supernumerary, there will be observation simulators.
Correct.
Thereafter, there will be, you might have done your IR check maybe few months back. So
Yes.
before you start your actual training,
Right.
you want to have your IR current and IR PPC current. So everything will be done again before you actually start your entire training, so that it is in continuation. And thereafter, there will be another, like certain things like low visibility takeoff or RNP approaches or category 2-3, category 2-3 approach landings. So those things are not done in your type rating.
Yes,
so those
definitely.
are done over here, as well as supervised takeoff and landing, STL.
STL.
So these things are not taken care before.
Base
So-
check.
So that is how
Yeah.
it is. After that, then you will be doing your observation flights or supernumerary. Then you will be learning to fly the actual aircraft, which is base check on the empty aircraft.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes.
Base check and then
SLFs,
after SLFs.
SLFs, supervised
And
line
then,
Then-
route check, and
Yeah.
then you
Then-
get to fly the aircraft.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So this goes
so
on for about
it takes about a year, I believe, 1 year for the.
Yes. I mean, in SLF, you pretty much fly the aircraft.
yes.
Okay, you
Yeah.
get to fly. So why this thing takes time is because of the safety which aviation provides.
Yeah.
So this are all safety measures.
Correct.
So at every point of time, you are learning something which is affecting the safety. So until you safely perform that operation, you won't
Yeah.
move to the next step. So these are all
Correct,
redundancies,
correct,
right?
correct.
Absolutely.
So until you are fit to fly the aircraft safely, you won't be flying the aircraft.
Yeah.
That's as simple as gets.
100%. Yeah. And then even when you start flying as a released first officer, you still are on the right seat, and a first officer with very low experience, then people will ask that, who's the main pilot? Okay.
Yes.
People ask that, who's the main pilot? Okay,
Yeah.
she is the main pilot. Okay, I get it. The point is, this journey is pretty long, like I mean
Ongoing.
until ongoing. Okay, now you probably don't have many further steps like
Now, once you become a captain, then there is a kind of a plateau
Yeah.
in your career progression.
yeah.
Unless you want to become a further,
Wide
line
body,
training
yeah. Right.
pilot, or else you want to switch the aircraft. The
Yeah.
moment you switch the aircraft, you are again doing your training.
Correct.
So whenever there is a transition, there is a training period of at least 6 months to 1 year.
Yes, definitely.
So whether you change the aircraft or
Yeah.
you change the designation
Yeah.
on the same aircraft,
Yeah.
there is training involved.
Right.
So
I'd love to see you flying a Boeing.
no, I would not want to fly Boeing. I would want to fly Airbus 350 maybe in future, but not Boeing.
350, my favorite aircraft.
Yeah. I'd my perspective is I'd like to get the taste of Boeing someday.
But now
Someday.
you are Airbus 320 rated pilot.
Yes,
so
I am, and I'd not be flying anything else for probably next 3 to 5 years. Yeah, for sure.
5 years is your
5.
bond.
Yeah, 5 years. Yes. All right. Yes, 5 years. Okay. Yeah, but someday probably. Let's see.
And then coming back to the questions which were frequently asked to them.
Yeah.
Are you an international pilot or domestic
Yeah.
pilot?
Yeah. these are the exact questions.
I think every pilot would be facing.
Especially the
yeah.
relatives.
Yeah.
Even the acquaintances or anyone that you
Yes,
bump
yes.
into.
So I mean, it's not their fault, because what I
Right.
think the main reason for that would be the lack of information or lack
Right.
of knowledge, right?
Right.
So aviation being a very niche field,
Yeah.
they won't be having any information rather than what is shown in the movies,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the movies, if it shows that a pilot should be tall, then everyone has a notion that a pilot should be tall.
Yeah.
They should be having like six pack muscles and all, but that is only shown in the movies. In practical, it's not like that. So there are certain height requirements for your body. Your body should be within the BMI,
Yeah.
right? So the reason why people ask this question is lack of knowledge. So
Correct.
if anyone is asking you that kind of question, if you are a CPL holder, if you are preparing for the airline interview, you can just ignore them because they don't have knowledge. Or you can just give them some knowledge so they stop asking you those questions.
Well, the point is, there is a benefit in being asked such questions, that like it's a kind of negative motivation in some cases. Like, okay, done with CPL, the journey ain't over yet. You can't forget that you still have to study, you still have to prepare, you still have to do your best in order to be able to become part of an airline, because that is one of the toughest part, right? Yeah, there are many difficult steps in pilot training for sure, but getting a job in an airline is one of the most difficult, I would say. Like, yeah. So when you were inducted, was it pretty much the same, or it was little bit different process, or how it was, how long it used to take for your
For at my time back in 2016,
Yeah.
it took me 2 months of ground classes
Right.
and another 4 months of supernumerary and supervised line flying. So I was released in the month of August. I was inducted in the month of April. So approximately 5 to 6 months it took us for.
What?
Fast.
Yes, to complete.
April to August.
Yes.
This is 4 months.
Yeah. May, June,
Wow.
July, August. Yeah, just 4 months.
That was
So
fast.
that including.
So that back then it was 2 months of the ground classes. So April, mid we joined, which was around 14th of April
Right.
to be precise.
Right.
And thereafter, by 25th of May, we were done with our ground classes.
Right.
And graduation was around 26th of May. And thereafter, we did our simulators and all of that, which happened up to about mid-June. And then I started SUPI mid-June to first week of July, and July and August SLFs. So at that time, back then, there were 30 supernumerary flights and 30 SLFs.
So in 4-5 months you were released.
Yes.
Now it takes almost a year for
A
that.
year.
Yes,
Because the numbers are like way more now, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
training
yes.
takes time.
Numbers are more, plus
Plus
they have the additional training as well
Yes,
now
yes.
for
Okay.
the aircraft.
Yeah.
So the A321, and then there's
Okay.
A320 as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Yeah.
So back in time, there were no A321s. Plus, the number of supernumerary flights were less compared to what it is now.
Yes, right
So
now it's
it
double.
is 60 number of supernumerary flights compared to 30 at that time. So now there are 40 SLFs, and back in time there were 30. So
Right.
it was fine. So after like 15...
That's for freshers, right? Like experienced it would be different.
Yes,
right?
yes. So it depends on what is the experience level of that
Correct.
particular pilot, and then
Absolutely.
whether that pilot is already on the aircraft and just requires transition training to the company, or else on other aircraft and then require the
Right.
entire training.
Right.
So it depends
Right.
on that.
But the point is, like, you did your pilot training conventional pathway, right?
Yes.
So that moment of joining an airline, I would say we experienced that when we cracked the cadet assessment
Yeah,
thing,
correct,
right?
correct.
That moment when that moment is there. So this moment of getting into company's office and signing,
Fine.
is lived like second time, the
Correct.
first time. So the magnitude by which you would have felt that feeling of
Correct,
getting
correct,
a
correct.
ticket from the company,
Correct,
of
correct.
signing that contract. We felt that when we signed the cadet pilot.
Pilot.
Yeah,
Correct,
yeah,
correct,
yeah.
correct. Yes.
Not that it is not now. Okay, it definitely is. Definitely.
But the first experience, first-hand experience was
Correct,
during the
like
So-
becoming part of an airline. That,
Yeah.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
So flying in the airline as a passenger without paying for a ticket was experienced for the first time
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah.
and that was quite a lot of excitement.
In
to
which
go.
episode? I guess the episode with Nikita, Captain Nikita Tomorrow. We were talking about that, right? Like she got selected as a cabin crew
Correct,
and got
correct,
the
correct,
ticket
correct,
from
correct.
the company
Correct, correct.
for the first time in life, and that was her first flight. Experience. Yeah.
Correct,
So
correct.
yeah, cool. Yeah. So how you like in Delhi?
Delhi, I mean, nothing beats Mumbai.
We'll get a lot. We'll get a lot of heat over that.
But yeah,
Well, it's just like everyone loves their hometown, right?
yes. So everyone has some kind of attachment to where
Yeah.
they are born and brought up,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, and I've been staying in Mumbai for the past 25 years
Since
And-
birth, we all
Yeah. Yes.
born and brought up.
So Delhi, pretty new for me, I would say, because I haven't stayed this long in Delhi.
Right.
So the one thing is the heat.
Right.
The heat is
Yeah.
pretty intense there, and it's dry. So I have a habit of staying in humid, because here the weather is
Right.
pretty humid,
Right.
and there it's pretty dry.
Dry, yes.
And then stay somewhere out of Delhi near Gurgaon.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Gurgaon has like most airline offices are in
Correct,
Gurgaon.
correct.
Yes, yes.
Like Akasa is in Gurgaon. Then many. I believe
Casa is in
SpiceJet.
Bangalore.
No, Akasa training is in Gurgaon.
Huh.
Yeah, Akasa training. So
Air India also has their headquarters building coming up with their headquarters or something like that.
I'm not
in
too
Gurgaon.
sure about them. But yeah, I mean, almost every airline has some setup in Delhi
Correct, correct.
for sure, except for the one that just pretty much shut down. Go
Yes.
Air.
Go
And
ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bombay is probably notorious for airlines to put head offices in.
Yes. Because it's too crammed up for
Yeah.
new offices, and Gurgaon gives opportunities because it's land, and they give you the land and you bring. There's no restrictions on how big your office can be.
Definitely.
Okay, but Mumbai has a lot of restrictions. And while coming to Mumbai today, I also saw like the aircrafts of Go Air, which was
Right.
parked. That is a sad sight to watch, and
Yeah.
definitely we wish that it soon
The-
starts. Yeah.
I don't know whether it'll start or not, but aviation is growing with a pace so fast that closure of Go Air kind of hardly has affected anything.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like, sure, I mean, the induction process of airlines has become relatively slower than before the shutdown of Go Air
For freshers. Yeah.
for freshers,
Correct.
but it's not actually affecting numbers at all. Like, because
Correct.
eventually, if the Go Air airplanes are released off the lease, then those airplanes will be inducted by some other airlines using A320, and as those are inducted, total number of airplanes in the market remain to be the same.
That is about the airplanes, plus more number of airplanes are anyways coming to
Exactly.
the airlines,
Yeah.
and the human resource, which is the human force of the entire workforce of the airline,
Yeah.
that is already absorbed by other airlines.
Exactly.
Yes, definitely.
A lot of it is already absorbed.
Yeah.
So they are already working. So
Correct.
there is a balance which has been attained already.
Correct.
So it has not affected much to the Indian aviation industry. But there was a time when in few months, because in that transition process
Right.
of the entire workforce getting
Mhm.
absorbed in the other
Yeah.
airlines, yes, so there were many flights
Yeah.
which were operated out of especially Mumbai, because Mumbai being their base.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, that was the thing.
And the second point is like, see, the Go Air pilots were experienced pilots, right? So any airline prioritizes experienced pilots onboarding anytime because
Correct.
the pay is more
Correct,
to
correct,
those
correct.
pilots
Yes.
as
Correct,
those are
correct.
experienced pilots.
Correct.
Then yeah, sure, the training relatively slows down for freshers like
Yeah.
Chintan.
Correct.
Yeah, it'll be slowed down, but yeah, it'll be there. Like probably instead of 6 months, it'll take 8 months, 10 months. But yeah, that's how it is.
Correct,
Yes,
correct.
as the expansion continues,
Yeah,
it will be delayed, because if you see COVID, so right now I think the people who have done their training during COVID, they
Correct.
can they are appearing for the interview. Most of them are placed with
Correct.
the airlines,
Correct.
right? So because of the delay or because of the gap of
Yeah.
hiring during
Yeah.
the COVID, the things have slowed down.
Yeah.
But I think from the next year it will again start
Yeah.
picking up,
Yeah.
and everything should be normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Go Air had how many? 700 pilots, 750 pilots.
600 to
Right.
600.
600, so 700 pilots. The last I heard, they were left with around 200. So 500 have been inducted by other airlines already.
Yes.
And those 200, I
Hmm.
don't know. Yeah, they lost their call sign, by the way, yesterday, as on yesterday or today,
Oh.
9th September. Jet Airways and Go Air, they both lost their call sign. Which call sign? IATA code. Not
IATA
call
code.
sign as in IATA
Code.
code.
Mhm.
IATA code. They both lost their IATA code.
G8 for Go Air and 9W, for Jet Airways.
Yeah.
So
Not-
yeah.
Go ahead.
So basically, what I think the most important thing for a pilot is to gain experience
Right.
and getting their ATPL as soon as possible. So for India, how it works is like once you get your CPL at 200 hours, and then you work for an airline as an instructor or as an instructor, you reach to 1500 hours, meet the ATPL requirements, clear the ATPL papers and Viva, you get the ATPL. So once you have an ATPL, you are considered as an experienced pilot. Okay?
Senior first officer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And for someone who is training abroad or has a foreign citizenship, so for them it is 1500 hours instructing or doing something like flying a plane for skydiving or for recreational purposes, and building those
Bush
15
flying.
yeah, and building those 1500 hours, and then they get an ATPL, and then they can move to narrow body like A320 or some CRJs or Embraer. Okay, directly they cannot move to a big aircraft.
Correct.
But for India, we are, I would say, privileged to directly go
Yeah.
on the
correct.
Airbus.
I don't know
Or
for how
Boeing.
long it
Yeah.
will be like that. No idea, because Indian aviation is becoming pretty much a mainstream education stream now.
But
Like-
the number of private jets are also pretty limited in India.
Yeah, no,
in order
but in the US,
apply.
how it is there are regional airlines and then there are major
Major
airlines.
airlines.
Okay,
Mhm.
so the airlines that you hear about, like Delta, then United, American, those are all majors. Okay,
Correct.
under the umbrella of these major airlines, there are multiple regional airlines
Correct.
who have the
Regional tier 2 connectivity.
yeah, the aircraft, CRJs. Okay,
CRJs, Embraer.
Correct.
A320, A220s, not 320, A220s, and all of those. Okay, say Bombardier and all of those small, relatively small
Correct.
jets.
Correct.
They own those. Okay, but it would be backed by the major airline. So any pilot who signs, say, American, okay, American Airlines contract
Mhm.
in while being in flight school. Like in L3, we used to have like road shows, such as road show as in recruitment drives. Okay,
Correct.
in that American would come, United would come, many airlines would come. American
Correct.
citizens were eligible to apply for those, so they'd sign contract with say United or American. Okay, once they sign, they're not gonna directly join American. They'd first join like American Eagle or Delta Connection. Okay, Delta Connection is the regional of
Of
Delta
Delta.
Airline.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so they'd start with say 80 seater, 100 seater CRJs or something like that, which are regionals
Correct.
that have their own base and
Correct.
yeah, they'd fly out of that base. Okay, now once they become first officer, then they upgrade as a captain on that regional, and then they upgrade as a first officer on majors.
Correct.
Okay, in India you get to directly join a major straight up.
That's because India doesn't have many
Exactly,
regionals and not
exactly.
many private jets.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for
Private
now
jet
it is
comes under GA, General Aviation.
correct,
Private jet is a completely different career pathway, even in the US, because here's the thing: anyone who's flying a private jet is probably a billionaire, okay, or hectamillionaire, something like that.
They
That
want
person doesn't want to fly with someone who has low
fresher.
experience.
Correct,
No,
correct.
like you anytime, it's just like we used to go to different place, fly to different places and say Boca Raton or something. You look at private jets landings, those would be the best landings you would
Perfect
ever
landings, like soft.
see. I mean, legit, the softest on point on numbers landings would be private jets. There'd be ex Air Force, there'd be probably ex majors, and those kind of pilots they usually recruit. So private jets is a completely different, like, imagine, would Ambani recruit someone less experienced? No, they would not, exactly, because
Definitely.
they care for their lives a lot.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yes, and this all things which Nilay just mentioned about the US is applicable only for US citizens.
Yeah,
That
very
is
important.
Yeah. So if you are someone who is an Indian citizen and you wish to work in the US, so either you have to get a US citizenship or a green card to be able to work in the US.
As an instructor, like that day, Captain Dinesh said that once you finish your CPL, you can enroll in ATPL pathway and then pay for that entire program and then get,
That
start
is
working.
correct, but your school needs to accept that.
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
not every school allows you to do
Correct.
that. So in L3, it was only allowed for Koreans. Okay. Only Koreans would do that. Okay. And also at the same time, so I read about it afterwards. So that extension needs to be approved by USCIS. Okay. That change of program needs to be approved by USCIS.
Okay.
And currently it's, you do get it, but it's a hit or miss. Like you might get it. But once you get ATPL, then getting an airline job is not possible because airlines do not sponsor work permit. And even in India, like any airline that you apply for has a condition. Even cadet pilot programs have a condition. You need to have unrestricted right to work
in India. So either Indian citizenship or an OCI.
OCI is overseas citizen of India. So if you have given up on citizenship of India and taken other citizenship, then you get an OCI card, overseas citizenship card, of India card, which gives you pretty much all the rights to do in India except for voting and owning a farming land. That's OCI for you.
Yeah.
No, like I mean, if someone doesn't.
Yes, because most of the aspiring pilots, they wish to start their career in the US. They want to work as a pilot in US or maybe Gulf Okay, but then this is the pathway which they have to follow. If they want to move to Gulf,
Right.
do your CPL in India, join an airline,
Yeah.
gain an ATPL. Once you have certain number of hours on jet engines, then you can definitely migrate to the Gulf.
About
But
2 to 3,000.
Yes,
Yeah.
3,000 approximately. Depends, varies from airline to airline.
Correct.
But with that experience, if we wish to move to US, that won't be possible.
Yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely. And none of these ways or ways of doing things are wrong. Okay. US believes that before working for an airline, you need to have 1,500 hours. That works for that country. That works for FA. So it's different. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It's definitely not. You're more experienced when you fly the jets. Yeah, you have more hours. Yeah, how much those hours would... Okay. Yeah, ultimately, like flying Cessnas and flying jets is very different. Yeah.
Yes,
Very
Absolutely.
different.
completely different.
It is different. But at the same time, ultimately, it's airplanes. If you pull, it'll pitch up. If you push, it'll pitch down. That's how it works. Airplanes fly like airplanes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean, no airplane in the world would, if you push, it'll still pitch up. No, that won't
If
happen.
CG is out of limits, it can
Unless-
happen.
Yeah,
Unless-
that is true.
Unless you are on an inverted flight.
That is another point. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I mean, civil flights don't go inverted usually.
Yes.
Yeah, but CG, yeah, that's 747, right?
Yes. If CG goes out of limits, then
Yeah.
if you pull, then aircraft will go down.
Yeah.
And other way around. Yes.
It can go anyhow, right? Like anything can happen. Like if
Then it is unstable flight. Absolutely.
absolutely
Like it is out of
unstable,
control.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like if the CG goes behind aft of the null point.
Neutral point.
Yeah, null point or neutral point.
Neutral.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it'll just tend to pitch up, right? Simply.
Yeah, if the
Pitch
yeah,
up, stop.
more of it in technical general stability chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, so why you're not wearing uniform today?
Yeah, just I was just at home, so
Yeah,
I was
Oh.
in a bit of casual mood, so I
right,
wore a bit.
right. Yeah, this is a
Yes.
kind of casual
Yeah, because it was
three of
planned.
us just discussing
Conversation.
with each other. That might help you. And yeah,
Yes.
the conversation is always something that has a purpose to help you all. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Because it was planned very impromptu.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in
Yes.
the morning I had my training, and
Yeah.
then I was not sure when I would be done with it.
Right.
So as soon as I got done, I left for the airport, and then from their flight, and then
Wow.
so basically from the duration which it took for me to reach from Delhi to Mumbai was the same time we reached from airport to the studio.
True. Seriously. Yeah.
So
Yes.
so that's the traffic and
Mumbai.
yeah,
For
Mumbai
sure.
traffic. Yeah.
For sure.
I saw you were doing 2 holds. before
Yes,
landing.
and yeah, there was holes as well because as busy the Mumbai airport is, definitely holding. But the weather was very pleasant today.
Yes.
Few showers in Delhi as well, and on the way we were mostly in the clouds, and whole cabin was full of water vapor because of
Right.
the difference in
Moisture.
humidity. Yeah.
Yes.
And
How about we go live just like that on Instagram right now? Without any intimation, without anything.
Yeah, if we inform, then public would know that we are going back.
Yeah, that would be more this
At least
thing.
a
Or if
day
we
prior.
just want to say hi, we can
Yeah,
just
at
go
least-
for a minute or so,
At
and
least a
then
day prior or
Yeah.
few
We
hours
we can
prior.
yeah. If we just
Right.
want to say hi, we can just go like 1 minute, like hi, what's up, and then for a minute we can just say
Right. I mean, in future, just put it in comments. Like if you would like to have a live podcast, like let's try to do a live podcast
Yes.
in which like we'll have a hotline, okay, a number to call, and they can ask questions on phone to us on the podcast itself.
Yes, that
Or
would be
put it in
great. So
comments.
if we get more than 50 comments, definitely we'll be having it in the next tweet itself.
that sounds good. Absolutely.
Yes,
And
so
we're reaching what, the small number of 3,800 subscribers on this podcast channel.
Yes.
So
I mean, the number doesn't matter, but
actually,
each and every subscriber matters.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. The point is, this is how when we three meet, we discuss, and that discussions, if those help you, then yeah, that's why we do this. So let us know if we could, if you
Yes.
want us to do a live call line, hotline while doing the podcast. So there will be an unedited, uncut version of the podcast that will be only available during the shoot and not afterwards.
Yes.
So for that, you have to mention live pilot podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be nice, right?
Yeah.
It'll be way more interactive as well. I mean, it still is. Like when you comment, we try to reply to most of the comments. Yeah, but that'll be something that your voice will be heard as well. So we'd love that.
So if you comment and then we take some time to reach out to you or to get back to you, you can always reach us out on our Instagram. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, I guess that'll be all for today.
Yes.
Anything else
absolutely.
anyone wants to add?
Yes, that will be it. Yeah, we'll hopefully do one more podcast next weekend.
Next week.
And yeah,
Hope
we
to
all
see
three
you
will be there.
From
Yeah.
Delhi again.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, now you get the travel benefits, right? So
Yes.
Yeah, as a part of airline, as per airline policy, everyone has the travel
travel
benefit.
benefits.
I mean, it's just relaxing, like
Yeah.
just book any flight and
Yeah, it's
Go.
yeah.
it's pretty much like just
Absolutely.
sit in the cab and then book the flight. That's how it is. If you miss it, that's okay. You can go
Yeah.
on the next one.
Next one.
Yes,
There are so
one
many
of the
flights.
perks of becoming a pilot.
Yeah, sure.
That your family also get it, you also get it. Yeah.
And if you have the AEP, then you can just go from the staff line, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is once you get an AP,
AEP.
Yeah. but
then
ये
you can
cut कर
travel
देना
ACM and
पे
नहीं, उसमें
करने
कुछ नहीं
AAP
है।
का AFSEC में तो ना बोला है भाई
अच्छा,
AAP
AAP का भी,
हाँ.
okay.
You can't use AAP for this stuff
Yeah.
line and all.
yeah, if you have AAP, then only you can.
उसने बोला AAP can only be used if you are on legal duty. अगर उसके भी वो है
हाँ तो if you are on a uniform and
बोला है
AP,
तो अभी
if you are
बोला
in-
है तो बोला है अभी
if you are
रूल
in a
फॉलो करेंगे
uniform and AP,
हाँ.
you can go.
अच्छा
Uniform and AP.
Yeah.
so technically for ACM
Yes,
Yeah,
ACM.
ACM.
Yes.
got it
ACM किसके लिए है?
ACM
ACM में
is
पर्सनल ट्रैवल ही है तो that you can go from the staff line.
so yeah,
Yeah.
so she goes on ACM.
okay
Like
Yeah.
I'd prefer to go on this what's say staff
travel.
travel.
yeah I would also prefer to go on
That is
ACM
now because but then ACM is
No, but you have to wear a uniform for ACM,
Yes.
right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's
but,
it
so if
but you
the
also get to sit inside the cockpit right
if
Yeah.
flight is full
yeah
then you can just if you have ACM travel booked on
Right.
that flight then you can go to the cockpit and also sit
Right.
if you provided you do be a BA.
mm-hmm.
So,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, BA, none of us drink. You do.
No, I'm not drinking. No, I don't. It's been a while since my vacation. I did not.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you stopped drinking.
Yeah, it's been almost a month that I did not drink.
So how long you're planning on not drinking?
Putting me in a spot. I haven't decided yet, though.
Right. Yeah. So when I stopped drinking, it was like 1 year. I decided I won't drink, but then loved the sobriety so much that I just don't want to drink no more. Like my 1 year is over. It's been like 3 years now. I didn't drink. It's just sobriety is fun. The intoxication of sobriety is awesome.
So once you get into the habit of something, you tend to follow it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so if someone is on the journey of becoming a pilot and you're putting in the effort, so if you put efforts 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, then it becomes a habit.
Yeah,
You don't have to push yourself
Absolutely.
every day. It
Absolutely.
becomes a natural thing for
Absolutely.
you.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, no matter what, but like irregular sleep cycles is never like a welcome. But you
Yeah.
still would do it for the love
Job.
of flying
Yeah.
and the job. Like imagine you're waking up at 3 o'clock one day, okay, and then next day
2 o'clock.
if you're again waking up at 2 o'clock, that's okay. That's just 1 hour difference. But then next day you're waking up probably at 9 o'clock, and then again 3 o'clock. That is a mess.
Then you sleep at 2 o'clock maybe next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So your body doesn't know whether it has to
Exactly.
sleep or it has to stay
Yeah.
awake.
The whole circadian
Yes.
rhythm goes for a toss. That'll be for some other podcast.
Yes.
Right? All right. You know
All
the
right.
drill. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for your attention. And if you are an aspiring pilot, CNTAA, join CNTAA. Okay. We help you in the best way possible in your pilot journey, in your pilot career.
Thank you for being with us in this podcast. As much as you enjoyed this podcast, we enjoyed your company as well. Okay. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.
Absolutely. If you have any doubts, you can please put in the comments and we would try to answer all the comments as much as possible. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Space, like the other fun